Hey everyone, we're back. I'm John.
And I'm Natalie, and we are American Tifosi on this channel. We talk about everything Formula One, drama on the track, drama off the track. We're talking about it all here today. And today we are talking about Abu Dhabi, the last Grand Prix of the 2025 season, deciding the championship. I am so excited.
Me too. I'm excited for this race so much because we haven't had. I mean, since I've been a fan, there's never been a race that there's three drivers that are eligible to win the championship in the last race of
Yeah.
the season, and I guess the last time that happened was 2015.
Wow.
Uh, I love that it's happened that the track is in Abu Dhabi because
Hmm.
it's a proper racetrack that has a chance for really good racing. Unlike Qatar, like last week was kind of a if it wasn't for the McLaren shocking mismanagement of their pit strategy,
Right.
then this would all be wrapped up. So
Yep.
I love the Abu Dhabi circuit. It's awesome.
Hmm.
I love that the people of UAE, I guess, and their money will change the circuit to keep it competitive, which is nice.
Right.
Unlike a lot of other tracks that they like. I get it. We're in a regulation, the end of a regulation, so it's hard to
Hmm.
pass anyway. But tracks aren't making it easier to pass like Abu
Right.
Dhabi has been.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm really excited that there's three kind of polarizing drivers for all different
Hmm.
reasons at the top.
Right.
And then the track itself is not a like a crappy track like we kind of have towards the end of the year. Qatar is kind of a crappy
Yep.
track. Coda is kind of a crappy track. Mexico City is awful. And it's not that the tracks are bad. It's just that it's hard to find competitive racing in those tracks for different reasons.
Hmm.
But Abu Dhabi's got really cool passing zones. There's obviously, I mean, I think when we'll talk about this later, but there's going to be some. I think we could expect some lap one, turn one drama,
Absolutely.
and then there's going to be some. There's some cool passing chances in turn six, seven, and the straight leading into that, and then the straight leading into turn nine, which are coincidentally the two DRS zones. So
Hmm.
it's going to be exciting to watch this track, this race, and also because it is in UAE. Um, I don't think we'll see bad weather interfere. So
Hmm.
the thing that I like that obviously we like bad weather because it means exciting racing. But here we've got three drivers that all are going to get all three practice sessions to try and tune their
Right.
car and we're going to see the best of them in optimal
Yeah,
driving circumstances. So
absolutely.
yeah, let's talk about some of the things that we're most excited for. Obviously, we've kind of maybe spilt the tea a little bit on that, but Nat, what is something else you're excited about?
Um, Something that happened a couple of weeks ago, much to my dismay, but I'm happy for them anyways. Charles and Alexandra are engaged, which we could have updated you that a little sooner, but we didn't. But I'm happy for them. I think they're an amazing couple. But I am a little, I'm a little sad, as I'm sure a lot of fans are, to see Charles truly be booed up, but I'm really happy for them. So, yeah. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess good on them. They have a dog together, so the next logical step is to just go ahead and get hitched. So
Exactly.
yeah, but it would be interesting to see. There's a maybe it's more of a meme, but there's a correlation between drivers having significant life events and then them
Mm-hmm.
kind of falling down. I mean, Max struggled to
Right.
start the year when he had a baby.
Yep.
In fact, Fernando Alonso's girlfriend, who's old enough to be his daughter, is now pregnant, and then now he's struggling. So it's weird. Um,
Yeah.
so I hope that's not true for Charles, although it would make sense since he's been like god awful here the last few races.
Right.
So maybe they'll hurry up and get married so that it'll just be old news come next year, and then Ferrari will have a
Right.
chance.
Gosh, I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So something I'm really looking forward to is if Williams is able to keep it going in the
Mm-hmm.
last three races. Carlos Sainz has been on the podium twice, which is, if you're keeping score at home, folks, that's two more times than Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari.
It's
Um,
also two more times than he said that he would make. At the beginning of the season, he said he wasn't going to get any podiums and he was going to work hard for Williams, but he knew that he wasn't going to get anywhere near those podiums. And he's done that twice after being replaced by Lewis Hamilton.
yeah.
So I'm very proud of him for that.
So he was probably just doing that to like maybe manage expectations. I don't know.
Sure.
But the cool thing is like he struggled at the beginning of the year, and you and I commented on one of our other podcasts about how every driver complains about being unlucky, but Carlos has legit been unlucky.
Right.
Meanwhile, Alex Albon has been doing pretty well. I mean,
Yeah,
he's pulled Williams is best of the rest, period. They're in
yeah,
fifth place. They cannot get past.
absolutely.
Even if they both DNF, I mean, I suppose if I think sixth place is V carb. I mean, if both the
Okay.
V carbs win, they might pass them or something, but they're going to finish in fifth place.
Yeah.
And so Albon's had a pretty solid season. And then the fact
Mhm.
you consider that Carlos is now thrown two podiums up there. He's only
Right.
within, I mean, they're so far and above best of the rest. And then to take
Yep.
that a step further, and we'll talk about this in a future podcast, I'm sure, but um, all the people that know things more than me, which is like 3.8 billion% of the people of the population, but uh, they all say that Mercedes is likely to be very strong with the new regulation change.
Hmm.
Well, guess what? Power units the Williams run, they run Mercedes. So
Mercedes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Williams might be super strong, and if they run this strong at the end of the year with all the driver turnover that always happens, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Um, you know, Carlos has every reason to believe that he is in the right car.
Right. And I think that
Um,
not to discount Williams' performance in their car at all, but it's really a testament to how great of a driver Carlos Sainz truly is. I think
completely.
that as we've beaten this horse, we know that if we were Ferrari, we would take Lewis Hamilton as well. But I think that was the wrong decision.
Yeah, in hindsight. I mean,
Yeah.
and another fun conversation is, I mean, and we don't have this on our notes, but Oliver Berman's been awesome this year, and
Yeah.
he's Ferrari's reserve driver. So
Hmm.
he is going to be a Ferrari race car driver at some point. Um,
Yeah.
and so if Lewis keeps struggling, do we start hearing rumors,
Hmm.
of hey, Lewis should hang it up, Ollie should take over a spot, but that's a different conversation for a different time. But
Right.
what
I will say that I hope that Lewis hangs it up before he's pushed out. I think that that would be a shame if he had to get pushed out instead of quitting when he knows when to quit. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't see him ever getting pushed out. I just don't. I
Really.
mean, Sebastian Vettel never got pushed out, and he was a
Well,
four-time
maybe
world champion.
push
Yeah,
down
okay.
if not
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, okay. What's something else you're looking forward to?
I am looking forward to discussing and seeing the Red Bull Seat of Doom. How that's going to play out.
Okay.
It was just announced that Yuki Tsunoda will not be driving for Red Bull anymore, and Isaac Hadjar, which we could have guessed, is going to take his place in the next season. I love Isaac Hadjar. He's an incredible, great rookie. I think he has a lot of well, I thought he had a lot of great years ahead of him. The fact that he's being put into the second Red Bull seat makes me wonder if he really does. Not at all his fault. But we know that that Red Bull seat has a quick turnover rate. So I personally just don't have very much hope for him in that seat. Not at all a dig on his performance or his skill. I think he's an incredible driver. But nobody drives like Max Verstappen does. Nobody has or wants their car to be like Max Verstappen's, and that's what the car is. So maybe there'll be a change next season with new regulations and how the car is set up. Maybe they'll decide to, give Isaac Hadjar a chance and they're going to have the car set up mostly for Max, but I don't know. I hope that they give Isaac Hadjar a little bit of grace, more grace than they have given past Red Bull number 2 drivers.
Okay. Yeah, and then obviously in that is that the implied uh, doom is that Yuki's gone, and you and I are
Yeah,
both fans of Yuki. Um,
yes.
So,
And so are a lot of people. He has a lot of
oh yeah.
sponsors, which Red Bull is throwing away currently.
Well, so I think that they were going to do this regardless of how well Yuki did because next year Red Bull's running Ford instead of
Hmm.
Honda. But it was notable, I think, that Red Bull quickly grabbed him as a reserve driver when the
Hmm.
logic said that he was going to go to Aston Martin because Aston Martin next year is running Honda.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, I'm sad for Yuki, and you and I were texting about this a couple days ago, and so I'm glad we didn't get farther into it because I'd love to hear your take without
Sure.
having discussed it first. But
Okay.
um, in 2000, I think I might be wrong on the year, but the last significant regulation change,
Hmm.
like when Drive to Survive was just first starting,
Yeah.
there was a regulation change, and the two Red Bull drivers at that time were Daniel Ricciardo
Hmm.
and Max Verstappen, and they
They
were
drove
both
well
equal.
together.
They drove well together, and let's be honest, if we go back that far, Danny Rick didn't get fired; he quit. He
Right.
quit and went to I think Renault, right?
Yep.
Um, and then they replaced Danny Rick with I'm sorry, Checo Perez.
Did they?
Yes, who was
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yep. Mhm.
so in 2022,
Yeah.
they finished first and second, and they
Yeah.
were dominating. It was
Hmm.
only as we got farther and farther into the regulation change that Red Bull started moving the car more towards Max, more towards
Yeah.
Max, more towards Max.
Right.
So that's the reason I'm hopeful for Isaac Hadjar is that
Yeah.
hopefully they set the car up equally for both of
That's
them.
sort of what I'm hoping and thinking.
Um, you know, the other thing that is kind of interesting is that the new seat because Isaac Hadjar vacated
Hmm.
VCarb is the VCarb's empty seat, and that's been filled by Arvid Lindblad.
Yes.
And it's funny that us as Formula One fans or Formula One consumers, it's just like we don't know what we don't know because he's not second, he's not first, he's not third in Formula Two. He's in fourth place in Formula Two, and he
Hmm.
got fourth place in Formula. Like he wasn't great,
Yeah.
so they must see something. And but
Right. That we
the same
don't.
is true. Yeah, because the same is true as Hadjar. He didn't win Formula Two.
Yeah.
Antonelli did,
Hmm.
but Hadjar got way down in the rankings. Same thing, and this year Jack Crawford, who's Aston Martin's reserve driver,
Hmm.
and it's like, well, why is he not getting called up?
Right.
What's his name? Doohan for Alpine did really well,
Hmm.
but he never got called up, and then when he does, so it's interesting that although I don't necessarily want to see Arvid Lindblad personally. I do like seeing new blood, especially if it's going to
Sure.
bring more competitiveness. And you and I both don't like Liam Lawson, so I'm hoping that Arvid Lindblad starts out the gates and just
Yeah.
knocks Liam Lawson down a peg
Yeah.
or two.
Right. I completely agree with that. And to your previous point about the regulation change, which we will definitely talk about during the season break, but I do hope, especially if Max doesn't win the championship, I think that there's less of a reason to have it perfectly suited to Max. I think they need to give Isaac Hadjar a chance. He's an incredible driver. And not that Max is anywhere near the end of his career, but you gotta help out the rookie. He won't be a rookie next year, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's a really valid point because one of the things that Red Bull has always been kind of uh, looked down for is that they put all their eggs in the Max basket. So early
Right.
on, like mid-season, when it was when he was all the gossip was he was going to leave Red Bull.
Right.
Well, if they did, then they were completely screwed.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Um,
know.
so yeah. Well, then the last thing I think that is notable is oh boy, the three-way race between Oscar Piastri,
Hmm.
Lando Norris, and Max Verstappen.
Yep.
Um, Max, or actually Oscar's in third place now, but the fact that all three of them can win, that's pretty awesome. That's going to be
Yeah.
exciting. We could argue whether or not that it should have happened in the first place. McLaren has, if you consider their
You're
double
right.
disqualification in Vegas,
Hmm.
the fact that they didn't pit last week in Qatar, they kind of are in this position of their own doing. But
Hmm.
I'm here for it because it's going to be exciting.
Yep. Absolutely. I think that
Um,
a big shock to see Max coming up. in this three-way tie because of his performance the first half of the season and McLaren's
Yeah,
dominance. And something just happened to McLaren or three-quarters of the way into the season that they're slipping a little bit. They're definitely not slipping. They're winning that constructors, absolutely. But
yeah,
something about their performance or maybe just team management is awry. And that all ties back for me personally to Oscar Piastri. And I just I'm praying for Oscar to win. He
yeah,
was dominating. I think he absolutely deserves it. I think that McLaren has been unfair in their treatment towards him when they claim to be fully fair and even with the two teammates, but I don't know. I hope Oscar wins. It's going to be a little difficult though.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. I want Oscar to win. I've wanted him to win for. I think it was since they. I don't remember what race it was where they told Oscar let Lando pass because Lando had a slow pit. And oh, that was Monza. Ever since then, and
Yeah.
and Oscar's been on the record saying that that got in his head, and that
Mm-hmm.
that correlates with his kind
Yeah.
of poor performances. And I'm
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
you claim to be McLaren claims to be this team that preaches and touts their equality for the two
Mm-hmm.
drivers, and it's a fair. But let me ask you this: let's just
Okay.
say that Oscar or let's say Max is winning the race.
Okay.
um, halfway through the race at Abu Dhabi. Max is
Okay.
winning.
Yep.
Oscar's in second. George is
Yep.
in third. Lando's in fourth. If it
Okay.
finishes that way,
Yep.
Max is the world champion again
Right.
for the fifth freaking year in a row.
Yeah.
Um, and Lando and Oscar are left holding the bag and not the bag of money.
I like I don't think that Oscar deserves to have to continue to sacrifice. I do think that I would rather have Lando win than Max. So
Totally. Yeah.
if that is the order, I think it's completely reasonable. And I think that Oscar should, I don't even like saying that, but I think that he should drop back and to give Lando a chance of beating Max, or at least getting into third so that he can win the championship. Um, I think that that is reasonable if that happens, which Formula One love to play out crazy narratives. I think that something like that might end up
See,
happening.
but hold on. You say the word crazy narrative, but those four drivers, they're in the top four in the championship, and it's guaranteed that's already locked up. That can't change. Those top four are going to finish in the top four.
The crazy narrative is like Oscar Piastri having to sacrifice himself once
Yeah,
more at the end of the season for the good of the team, which I'm tired of seeing that this season. I'm tired of it. Oscar
yeah,
deserves that championship. It's going to be difficult for him to get in this last
yeah.
race.
So that's the thing is I so that scenario. So we have Max in first place, Lando in fourth, and Oscar and George in third. If Lando gets third, it doesn't matter. So what I would
Right.
see, I totally believe I would hear Andre Stella or Zach Brown come on the radio
Mm-hmm.
and say, "All right, Oscar, here it comes.
Oh
I need you
yeah.
to fall back and
Yep.
let Lando."
Yeah.
And you and I are not the first podcasters or writers to talk about this. This has been bantied about because it is such a possible scenario.
Yeah.
What I haven't heard talked about that I would like to get your thoughts on is
Mm-hmm.
if I'm Oscar Piastri,
Yep.
I would be a vocal on the radio and say I am willing to do this. Next year I'm your number one. Say it right now.
I don't think he can do that, but I think that
Then I'm
people
not doing
will.
it. But that's if I'm Oscar and I'm not Oscar. I'm
And you
just
know
John
what?
from
The 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 argument to be made is that whether Lando wins or not, McLaren is going to win the
they've already
championship.
won. They won it a few.
So
Yeah.
why should the team have any say whether Lando wins the championship or not? Like sure, reputation, but people who watch Formula One know they all have great reputations. I don't think that like Lando winning the championship isn't gonna help the constructor at all. The constructors is already it's already
So no,
decided.
yeah. Yeah.
So I really don't see a reason for Oscar having to do that, but I definitely
Well,
see the team asking him to do it anyways.
Right. I totally agree. And I know the team will. I mean, I don't
Right.
know that because it hasn't happened, but you know, I'm just saying because I haven't heard people talk about it that if I'm Oscar Piastri and I'm being asked to do this, which we all agree would happen if this situation
Oh,
arose,
yes.
then I'm saying the next year I'm your number one. You're asking me to throw this year away
Right.
because now also if I'm
He could
Oscar,
have
there's
won the race between
yeah,
Max and Oscar. He
but
has
that
that
won't be
possibility
enough.
too.
He would have to finish 6 points ahead because he's 6 points behind
Right.
Max, so he's
Yeah.
got to beat him beat by more than one
We
spot.
need George Russell
Uh,
to do what he does best in this scenario and crash into
Well, actually,
someone.
I would, if I'm Oscar, I would just say, hey, yeah, I'll do what you can. Let me see if I can find Lance. See
Yeah.
where's Lance on the grid?
Right.
Um, the only thing that I would say, in all seriousness, is there's no way I would even consider it. And if I'm McLaren, there's no way I would even ask it until it's like the very last lap,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
there might be a safety car, there might be a somebody's car might explode. Lando had that unfortunate problem where he had the oil leak 4 or 5 races ago. Um, Isaac Hadjar this past race had the tire puncture that wasn't his fault, so
Right.
and he was running in sixth. So there's no way that I would consider it. I would mute the radio
Yeah.
if you're talking to me before anywhere before the last couple laps.
And that's where their
Because
personalities come in because I think that if the roles were reversed, Lando would mute his radio and finish off his race. I think that although Oscar is an
but Lando's in
extremely
first.
competitive driver, I I feel like I Oscar would be willing to do that. Unfortunately.
Well, I think Lando would if the situation was reversed, but Lando
Right.
in that same scenario, if Oscar was in fourth and Lando had to let everybody by for Oscar to win, he still doesn't win the championship. So
Right.
that's the thing. The only way you could do that is Oscar then say, "Hey, I need Lando to crash into Max,"
Yeah.
which that will never happen.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm super excited for it. It's been more races than I mean than I've been a fan of Formula One, where the last race matters for something more than just who's finishing second in the Constructors
Right.
Cup. Like
Yep.
last year, it wasn't McLaren had pretty much won the Constructors Cup, but it wasn't 100% sure. But it was like most. Now it's nobody has any idea what's going to happen. Odds say just because of the points that Lando should win, but
Hmm.
we've also seen Lando just like forget how to drive,
Right.
or McLaren forget how to do pit stops.
Right.
So it's crazy. I'm excited for it, but let's move on to some predictions.
Okay. Let's do it.
Who you got qualifying first?
I've got Lando Norris qualifying first, and that's just solely based off of the fact that looking at last year's results, Max didn't do that great in Abu Dhabi. Lando won the race in Abu Dhabi. So I'm gonna give it to him. I think it makes it more exciting too. It's everybody's gonna think at the beginning, oh, here we go, Lando's winning the championship. But I'd like to see him drop from first to fourth. So I have Lando, and then I went ahead and went put down second and third on the grid, and I did Oscar and George Russell because we need George Russell in that mix on
Yeah,
Sunday. Absolutely. He's going to cause some drama as he always does. And I really want to see what he has in store for us.
and we didn't talk about this, but George is fourth in the champions, and he's locked
Hmm.
into fourth. I don't
Yep.
think that can move. But I think it's the last two or maybe three races. Kimmy's outperformed George.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Kimmy's doing
so
great.
um, I'm surprised to see him that high, but he's also done well at Abu Dhabi. So
Hmm.
I don't hate you for that. I also have Lando on the pole, if for no other reason than you said that Max finished sixth last year, but
Hmm.
last year Max had won the championship already.
Sure. Yeah.
So
He didn't
how
really
hard did
care,
he?
I guess.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
hard did I mean, Max is more competitive than anybody on the grid, so it seems
Absolutely.
unlikely that he like mailed it in, but
Hmm.
he also like subconsciously, I don't know what effect that has on somebody. But
Right.
I have Lando. I mean, it's gonna be hard. We've talked about all the suspense. It's still gonna be take a whole lot of strange things for Lando
Yep.
to not win the championship because he's
Right.
largely been the biggest driver, the
Yep.
best driver. Um, I want Oscar. You and I want Oscar for the same reasons, but I've got Lando on pole, and we'll
Hmm.
see what happens. But for my podium, I went
Yes.
ahead. I went ahead with Oscar, Max, and Lando. Um,
Oh, I feel like you might be right, and that's just terrible.
the only reason I feel that way is because Oscar's got to push. He's in third place, right? He's got to push
Hmm.
the hardest, so he'll take
Yep.
the most risks.
Right.
Lando, just if he finishes third, so if if he qualifies first
Yep.
and Max beats him off the line like he does every freaking race,
Right.
Lando can say, "Fine, I just will follow Max home,"
Yeah.
and then
Right.
I'm the champion. And
Yeah.
I don't need to get my
Absolutely.
elbows out. I don't need to
Yeah.
stick my nose out. I don't need to get in trouble. Um, the gutting thing is if it does finish that way, the top three will be so close that it will
I
just be
know.
heartbreaking. It'd be heartbreaking.
Absolutely. I need in my lifetime for Oscar to win a world championship. And I think if he doesn't win it this year after like being the
But
underdog at the start of the season, it's gonna take a deep toll on him. And I
I agree,
hope
and I don't think he
if
does it
he
at
doesn't
McLaren.
win, I hope that he can recover because he
I
is an
agree.
incredible driver
Yeah.
who like Max Verstappen puts a lot of respect on Oscar's name because he says that he's one of the only racers who's like willing to put his elbows out against Max. And so
Yeah.
I think that man, I hope that it all works out in Oscar's favor, at least for the long run. I
Side.
said that I want Oscar, George, and Charles. That's not a real prediction. I don't really
Okay.
think
Well,
or know that
good
that's
thing we're
going to
not keeping
happen.
score anymore.
We're not keeping score. I want that to happen. I
Yeah.
don't think that is going to happen, but I honestly I refuse to give a real prediction for this race because I'm too nervous. I've been thinking about this all week. So that's my want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want something way different too. So, I mean, but I'm going with what I
Right.
think is going to happen. But what about a bold prediction? What do you got for that?
I said that a big win going to fail this race. Bigwig, including these a McLaren. I would say Red Bull, but I don't know if I'm going to count Yuki in on that. I don't know. Maybe George Russell will DNF. Maybe Kimmy will DNF. I think something's going to happen there. Or maybe it'll be Lando is in first or Oscar is in first, and then they choke. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to choke, I think,
Well,
this race.
from an excitement standpoint, I would take it. I don't. I think that all the different like coaches and like Lando's got a mental coach and a strength coach and
Hmm.
um, I, they're just going to say, man, if you finish third, you win. So don't push.
Yeah.
Don't. I mean, and that's
Tra
going to
right.
be hard to not override that because of the competitive juices they got going. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's notable, I think, that you didn't include Ferrari in the term bigwig.
Okay. Next year's their
um,
year. Next year's their
yeah, I
year.
know. And that's the funny thing is going back to your Oscar blurb. There is I'm not optimistic for McLaren with the regulation changes.
Oh dear.
So like I don't know if he ever gets back to this. I'm hopeful for McLaren because I like the
Yeah.
guys. I like Zach Brown. I like
Yeah.
Stella.
Me too. Hmm.
I like Lando and Oscar. I like them.
Yeah.
They come across as cool people, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. But they just can't get their own way, and so I'm
Hmm.
concerned that
I know.
if they miss the boat this time, when is the chance to get back?
Right. Exactly.
Other than Oscar's proven himself as a really great driver, so he might just say, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm good."
Yeah.
My bold prediction is that Williams scores more points than Ferrari. Look, I love Ferrari.
Man.
Realistically, if we went back and looked, and I haven't, but I could say pretty reasonably that the last two or three races, Williams has probably
Hmm.
scored more points than Ferrari.
Yeah.
Um, that's so it's really not a bold prediction. I guess it's just more of a statement highlighting how good Williams has been and sadly how bad Ferrari has been.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
there's been lots made about Lewis struggling, and but Charles has got a couple podiums, which is nice, but he hasn't
Hmm.
done very well. I mean,
Right.
and
I
it's
know.
not that he is driving poorly; it's just that their car
I
is
know.
underperforming. So
Hopefully next year.
Mercedes and Ferrari, I think will be strong. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we wanted to take a couple quick seconds and just kind of talk about our future, guys.
Hmm.
We took a couple months off trying to figure some things
We
out. You
did.
might have noticed that Natalie finally upgraded from her Nokia smartphone, and we're working out some kinks, but we are committed to bringing a good product because
Hmm.
I'm speaking for both of us that this is something we enjoy.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed the time I get to spend with Nat trying to
Hmm.
figure this out. You know, when
Yeah.
I'm a boomer trying to
Absolutely.
figure out electronic stuff.
Sure.
But what you can expect from us moving forward is we'll have a couple off-season things. We want to talk about the regulation changes
Hmm.
and hopefully share some of our love and excitement for the sport with you guys.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to talk about liveries, new cars. There's a whole new car
Hmm.
entering the grid, like
Yeah,
Cadillac's coming to the
there
grid.
is. Checo coming
Um,
back.
yeah, check on
So
Valtteri.
excited. And Valtteri.
Team Sauber is becoming Audi, so
Hmm.
um, pretty exciting.
Yeah,
There isn't a lot of movement in drivers, but lots of exciting things that we're going to talk about. I would
absolutely.
like to do like a bold prediction. Like let's just make some bold predictions to start the season off.
Hmm.
When we started this, we talked about our favorite drivers and why, our favorite team principals and why. I think it might be fun to revisit that.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
you know, Christian Horner is not even on the grid anymore. I'm sure we had something awful to say about him. Um, so yeah, you guys can expect that from us. And then what we would like to ask or expect from you is to like and subscribe and do all those things. Ask us questions because I like to answer them. And most importantly, just hopefully enjoy the sport as much as we've been enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Many years ago. It was just me waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch, and then once a week, Natalie is compelled to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's been fun to do that with her. So
Yeah.
um, do that with us, and I'm excited
Hmm.
for it. We will be back for the review, right? Are we doing the review
We are
of the
doing a
race?
review.
And
Absolutely. After this, we have to.
I vow to have champagne or something of its ilk to pop open in celebration of someone, as long as it's not Max.
Okay, perfect. In
All right,
celebration
guys.
of McLaren. Okay, we
I'll
will
take it.
see you guys for the review.
All right, take care.
Bye.